Attention YouTube reviewer, the following video is filmed on a private gun range by a firearms expert. All firearms are handled responsibly and at no point are any bystanders present or ever at risk. The following video also contains no footage of full auto firearms, bump stocks, firearm modifications, or firearm ammunition cells as defined by YouTube's community guidelines. This includes our outro. In addition, the content in this video based around restoring and repairing this rifle has been cleared as fully monetizable by YouTube. Alright guys, welcome back. I'm having to re-record this because my camera decided to throw a fit. Anyways, today we're starting a new series on the channel, and it's going to be a restoration series. We're going to be taking rifles that are in almost relic condition, but savable, and we're going to be trying to bring them back to their former glory and to be functional again. And the first rifle we have today, this is a Steyr M95 Carbine Mannlicher rifle. Now, this rifle was supplied to the channel by RTI, Royal Tiger Imports. They were gracious enough to partner with the channel to send us this rifle and hopefully some more in the future for the rest of the series. And, well, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be trying to take this rifle and bring it back to where it's used to be. So, we're not going to be going super heavy into the history or mechanics on the rifles in this series. It's mainly going to be taking these rifles apart, cleaning them up, restaining them, rebluing as needed, and getting them back to functional order. Now, before we get going into this, Royal Tiger Imports does have a little bit of a bad name, but I don't think it's deserved. Part of it is, from my experience in all the surplus groups I'm in on Facebook and everything like that, normally when people buy rifles from Royal Tiger Imports, they normally complain that the rifles are not what they expect. And there's good reason behind that. You see, if you're going to be buying a rifle from Royal Tiger Imports and expecting your grandpa's closet kept bring back, that's generally not what you're going to get. Now, you can buy rifles that are nice and restored from Royal Tiger. However, if you're going to be buying a B grade, C grade, and I think they even have a D grade sometimes, you have to temper your expectations. You're getting a rifle that has been stored for a very, very long time, usually not in complete, good conditions. And oftentimes these rifles have been tore apart and had parts scavenged off them to go to other rifles. So this particular rifle is from the Ethiopia cache that they got in. Pretty much Ethiopia was or has been a sovereign country by themselves for quite a long time. So what they would do is they would buy a lot of surplus rifles from other Western countries. Usually they would cosmeting them up pretty good and throw them in storage, and generally how they throw them in storage is they would pretty much stack them up like Jenga blocks on pallets, and that's how they would be stored. Now luckily Ethiopia is a pretty dry country, so a lot of these rifles are nowhere near as rusted as would be, say, if they were stored in other countries close to the ocean or get lots of rain. So a lot of these rifles are in relatively good shape and can be saved. Just keep your expectations to where you think you're going to get, and this is actually a really good example of what you can get from a B-grade rifle. From what I can tell, everything on this rifle is complete, and the only thing it seems to be missing is right here on the stock, there used to be a disc here. Now, I'm not sure with the monikers if that was a elevation disc or a sight, a rear sight block sighting disc like on Mausers, but I'll have to do some more research and see what originally went there. Now the stock does have this really interesting checker pattern right here, so that's kind of neat. But from what I can tell, the rifle is in fairly good shape and is complete. I don't believe it's missing anything of importance. Now, I've not been inside of this rifle. This is exactly how I received it from RTI. I've not done anything on it. The bore is relatively good. We'll talk about that a little later on. But first, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking apart this rifle, throwing all the parts inside of this tub here that can fit inside this tub, and working on the stock. I'm not going to be talking a whole lot about the history of the Mannlicher to begin with. I might throw in some stuff here and there while I'm tearing it apart, but it's not this series is not about the history of the rifle itself. It is about the restoration of the rifle. So, let's get into it. Now, luckily, from this rifle here, it looks like everything you're going to need to assemble is a flathead screwdriver. I would advise getting one that's got a very fine tip and a broad tip, because some of the screws are different sizes, and you need a smaller tip for some and a larger tip from others. So, but before we get started, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out the bolt. Now, if you don't know anything about the Mannlicher rifle, it is a straight pull rifle. And this one here seems to be moving pretty good despite it being all kinds of gunked up. So to remove the bolt on a Mannlicher, you're going to bring it back all the way. You're going to grab the trigger, pull the trigger forward, and the bolt, well, should come right out. Although it's got something going on here. I have no idea what it is. Oh, there we go. The bolt comes out here. Now, as you can see, that's pretty dirty. I don't know exactly how long these have been in storage in Ethiopia. You can see some pitting on the bolt head there. We'll see all this stuff here a lot better when I get it cleaned up. Yeah, the bolt head is pretty pitted, but more or less looks like it's all there. Firing pin is there as well, so we're going to drop that there. I'm going to grab a paper towel here, just in case. Now, what was I going to say? Okay, so next let's go with, let's get the barrel bands off, because that's where we need to get next. So for the front barrel band here that has the stacking rod and the bayonet lug, you're going to need the small end screwdriver. Ooh, and this may not even be small enough. I'm going to have to go find an even smaller screwdriver head, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I have this little kit here that's got some small screwdrivers on it, and the cool thing about this little kit here, you can have it like a wrench or like a screwdriver. I'm going to pull this off and take off the smallest head that is on here, with this one right here. Now, something to keep in mind when you're working on these old rifles that are over 100 years old is when you're doing the screws, press down with a lot of force and turn very slowly. That way you don't strip them. It's very easy to strip these. I'm going to have to actually take this off from here and move this side so I can. You see, this one here is pretty burgered up as it is. Seems to have a bunch of junk in it as well. So some of these screws, okay, looks like it's turning pretty easy. Some of these screws I am going to have to probably try to restore. Oh man, that one really is not wanting to come out. It looks like it might actually be interesting. Okay, this one here is going to be a little bit tough to get out here. So I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere on this rifle I'm going to have to do some yeah, that's just punching out. Let me get an actual punch kit. We got to punch it out. I'm probably gonna have to replace a handful of these screws with modern screws and re-thread the holes just to be able to get them to work like needed. Now I'm just gonna take this whole kit. Very possible I'm gonna need this for a lot of stuff, so we're gonna take the bench off, on the ground, bring the tool up here. Let me find a brass punch. punch fit. This punch fit. Grab this here. So, as you can see, this wasn't even a screw. It was literally just a rod or something like that that had like a Phillips cut into it. I don't even know what the deal with that is. Yeah, let's see if we can work this band off. Working this back and forth. Gotta be gentle with it. We're not wanting to break any wood or anything. I'm not too worried about scratching it right now because, well, I am going to be refinishing this stock. And I think for once, instead of doing a battlefield pickup kind of patina build, to where I'll try to preserve the patina of the rifle the best I can, I'm going to actually go through and try to make this thing look really nice. So I'm gonna redo the wood really well, try to get as much of this oil out of the stock as I can. I might go with just a walnut stain and linseed oil. We'll see what it looks like after I get the oil out. Maybe it will have a really nice grain and then I won't have to stain it at all and it'll just look good with linseed oil. We'll see. But you know, this is kind of what I've expected how this is gonna go. You want to go nice and slow, nice little taps. You're just gonna work it off. Now another thing I might do is because this stock is a little cracked up here and the front here around that, I might actually cut the stock flat with the barrel band, and I might go ahead and try to get some epoxy to fill into this wood here to strengthen it up a little bit. But that is the stacking rod there. It's a little pitted, but not too bad. That ought to clean up okay. Okay. Now we're going to go back to our screwdriver. We're going to do our big wide blade on right here for the second band. Okay, this one's coming off nice and easy. No problems here. No issues. I take this out like so. Okay. My screw. Let's see how this one kind of wiggle out. So this screw usually on the barrel band that has the swivel on it, they oftentimes use the actual screw that holds the swivel on as a tensioner or a tightener. So sometimes you have to go in and loosen up that screw just a little bit. You can see this one here, it's a little tight. Yeah, it looks a little mushroomed on the other end there. And of course, while it's on the rifle, I can't do anything like put heat to it or anything. So you just got to put a lot of pressure, slow turn. You have to understand, back when this rifle was made, metallurgy was not very great. So you can't, it's not going to have nice hard steel like modern screws and bolts are or have. Oh, okay, so we got a second screw here that's underneath. How does that come out? I think that has to come out too, but how? Huh. Okay. That's a new one for me. I guess that's the case. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to try very carefully to get this screw out all the way. In order to allow this band to open up some more. So maybe I can see inside there. It's coming. It's taking its time. Come on. Oh, not what I want to do. Okay, I might have hit the limit of that screw. Okay, I don't know about this screw though. What is the deal with this screw? That's supposed to come out. I'm going to try something that I would not advise. Let's see here. You can get that in there like that. I really don't understand what's going on here with this screw. Okay, let's, because it's catching on the stock. Okay, I'm gonna see about how to figure out how to get the screw out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I don't like doing this, but this seems to be working. I'm kind of tapping it out, and okay, it's out. So I didn't like doing that, especially on something this old, but it seems to be out. I'm guessing I'll have to check and see here. My guess is well, first, this screw here was just a wood screw that came in here. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that. Okay, so now the top hand cover here, I believe it should come off and up and off. Okay, just like so. All right, let's take a look here. Underside, not too bad. I do see a crack here. Some cracks up here. Yeah, that's broken right there with that band. So, like I said, I'm gonna have to do some repairs here after it's cleaned up to make sure I can keep this as a solid barrel band. What I likely am gonna have to do is I might have to add some epoxy or something here, or wood glue, to allow this to stay nice and solid. But otherwise than that, it's not too bad off. So I say not too bad off, a chunk falls off. I'll put that in there. But it's not too bad. Okay. Okay, now you can see here up underneath that handguard, this is what you gotta watch with these rifles, is normally the majority of the rust is gonna be under the wood itself, because that's where the moisture holds. So let's go ahead and work on taking the action off of the rifle. It can be these two screws right here. Your basic action screws, nice wide, deep. That's coming out nice and easy, none too bad here. This is the bolt that goes directly into the receiver portion around the barrel. That's not too bad. Okay, let's go right here to this Ting one. Okay. Okay, coming out okay. Just fine. Ooh. Okay. That's pretty Cosbleen covered, so I'm going to drop that in there. Now the mag housing should lift straight up. Alrighty. Not too bad, not too bad. We'll disassemble that in a little while. Now let's lift off the stock. Okay, the stock itself looks pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie, I don't see anything to really worry about over here. No major cracks. No, yeah, the stock itself seems pretty good. We're gonna set that off to the side right now. Alright, let's take a look at the action. Why, hello Daisy. Action itself, not horrible. Most of the rust is up here where the front of the handguard was, and it still doesn't look that bad. That should clean up pretty good. Not real bad in here. Like I said, this thing is pretty nasty, but looks pretty solid from what I can tell. And the one thing I did look at before I took this rifle apart was I did want to see if it had a decent crown and muzzle on it. So we're going to take these here. These are German 8x56s, but the bullet diameter is the same as the 8x50 that this rifle is chambered in. And if you look, we still have a bit of copper, so that's a good sign. And looking through the bore, I mean, I can see the rifling. It's pretty dark. I don't know how well that's going to clean up. I'll know once I hit it with the brass brush on a drill. I'm going to really hit it with that, and to see how clean we can get, shiny we can get that barrel. If anything, we might see some lowered accuracy out of this rifle, but I don't think there's going to be any issues as far as safety goes. It does seem relatively sturdy. Okay. Let's see about taking off. Well, I'm probably not going to try to take off the front sight. Let's take off the trigger assembly first. So it looks like we have just a single pin here. So let's lift this up off here. Let's grab this here. Let's give some little tappy taps. Okay. So a little access pin. And then from what I can tell, this should. Yeah, see how that nasty cosmoline, and the trigger should fall right out. Nice and simple. I need some more paper towels. Okay, put this out of the way. And then let's take apart the sight as much as we can. I'm not going to go super crazy with it, but I'm going to see how much I can take off. Okay. That screw does not feel like it wants to come off. Let's see, and I'm not sure I even have a screwdriver small enough to take these off. Yeah. Okay. So, let's see about just getting the leaf off. It looks like it's just pinned in. Can't really tell. Let's give it a little tappy tap and see where we're at. Yeah, okay, so that's just pinned in. So let me get a smaller punch here. A little tap tap. Let's raise this up like so. Drop that in there. Pull out this pin. Now this should be under spring tension, so just kind of hold it. Okay. And there is our sight ladder. I'm probably not going to try to take this off right now. I'll probably get this soaking in some cleaner, clean it up first, and probably some PVA blaster. Loosen up that screw a little bit. That way I can try to get it off. Here. Okay. I want to get this screw off for the leaf spring, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it without heat. Okay, I got the budge. Alrighty. Nice little tiny screw. Very few threads, just some threads right there at the top. Not really sure how well that's holding in. And, ooh, this thing is caked in here. So it looks like give it some little tappy taps. Looks like I'm going to drive it out this way. Tappy tap tap tap. Alrighty. That is our leaf spring for the rear sight. Doesn't look too bad. I'm not sure I can get this plate off, which I'm not even sure what this plate is. Let me see if I can take in that. Take that out. making this clean a little bit. My table is going to be so dirty after this. Okay, that's not small enough. I'm going to see if I have a smaller screwdriver or flathead inside of this box, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have 2 small flatheads here. Give these a try, see if I can get this off. Yeah, that fits in. Okay, problem is going to be getting enough torque with this here. Oh, okay, there it goes. Okay, one little screw out. Okay, there we go. Okay, so far so good. Been coming apart easier than I was thinking. So, okay. And that is as far as we're going to take down the barreled action. So we're going to set this off to the side. Let's take a look here at the trigger and the magazine group here. Look at the order in which this needs to be disassembled. Okay. So we're going to start first here with this. The pick, about cleaning this out. Okay. Okay. So far so good. This should lift out. Okay. Oh, you can just see all the cosmetic and crap caked up in there. Now, this being a straight pull rifle, if it runs half as smooth as my Smith Rubin, then I will be ecstatic, because I love that rifle. I love the way that rifle runs. Alright. I've got a buddy who has a sonic cleaner. I might ask him to borrow it for all these small parts. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Just floor plate first. My table is going to need to be washed after this for sure. Alrighty. Alrighty. This nice little short one there. Okay, this should lift up and out now. I'm correct. May not want to. Oh, there's one more inside of there. So let me see about getting this down here. I can't get enough torque on that. My hands are all kinds of nasty. I'm gonna get you down in here. There we go. Okay, that is a little leaf spring, a little screw. Let's see. Our follower is wanting to come out here. Okay, got us a, looks like another leaf spring. I can tell you right now, I'm gonna have to look up online how to reassemble this magazine assembly. Okay, so this one here looks like it's held in just with a punched pin. So let's go ahead and set you up here. Is that going to be too? That might be just the right size. We're going to use my finger to hold it down here. And just, okay, you don't even have to punch it out. Comes right out. Now, this should wiggle out. Alrighty. Yep, all that nasty gunk up in there. I'm not going to disassemble this screw here because there's not much of a reason to. That's going to be just fine in the sonic cleaner as is. Okay. We'll disassemble the bolt in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the hardware off of the stock. So let's start first with the back swivel. You're going to switch the wide head here. I'm going to take the pick, clean out these a little bit. Daisy, knock it off. Okay. Remember, nice and slow and easy. That is screw stuck on there. That's not that big a deal. Sonic cleaner will probably loosen that up. Okay, so just the butt plate. Let's clean these out. In there? No. So we're going to switch to the small one because it's a little bit more narrow. No, it's not going to work either. Okay, so we're going to switch back to this one here. And we're going to switch this medium blade and this large blade. So let's see here. The large blade doesn't quite fit in. Let's see about this little medium one here. Okay, that one does fit in pretty good. So we're going to put it on the wrench side here. Kind of drive it in there like so. Hold up my arm. No, that's not wanting to work either. These might be the most difficult to remove. Let's see if I can drag this one in like so. Push. There we go. Whew. Yeah, these old screws. Anything before World War II, you gotta be super careful with all the screws because the metal, which is super soft, and you don't want to strip or mar any of your screws if you can avoid it. Now, you can replace a lot of these screws. They made a ton of Mannlichers, and the design for the Mannlicher, at least the magazine design, it did continue onward because the Italians copied it when they made the Carcano. They used the same Mannlicher style magazine and clips. So the design has its merits. It just would have been cool if the Italians copied the straight pull action as well. Okay, and I'll see if we can do the same thing here. Push in. There we go. Nice and slow. Alright, and that's our plate. And I tell you what, as far as steel butt plates go, that's actually pretty thick. That's hefty. You see it's a little rusted. Not too bad. Alrighty. Our stock is disassembled. Next up, let's disassemble the bolt. Alright, so we're past the easy stuff for disassembling. Now, we get into the dangerous part. Disassembling the bolts. So, let's see if I remember how to do this. The first thing we're going to want to do is pull this back and put it on safe. Now we can unscrew. Oop. This should unscrew from the firing pin by spinning counterclockwise. Oh, there we go. Okay. That is our cocker. Okay. So next what we're going to do, we're going to take the bolt and kind of wiggle it out here. Alright. Put that off to the side. That is our extractor, which actually looks very nice. Look at that. The extractor looks really good condition. That's great to see. I'm going to wipe the bolt down here because it is super oily. It's a good sign because it looks very clean on the inside here. Okay, it looks pretty clean. Now next, this rear cap section here is the firing pin retainer. We're going to unscrew this. However, the firing pin is under spring pressure, so you want to be able to control that. So I would recommend having a rag or something like that. Just make sure your hand is in front and behind on both sides. That way when the spring releases off of the firing pin, you have it under control. And that is our retainer. And there's our firing pin and firing pin spring. That looks very, very good inside of there. Look at that. That actually looks really nice. Let's write this down. That is fantastic looking, and even a good tip on the firing pin. That is great to see. As you can see here on the bolt, like I said, it does have some pitting around the bolt head. I'm not super concerned about that. That should be fine. It doesn't look anywhere near deep enough to be of any issue. The last thing to take off is the safety, and you will need a Phillips or a flathead screwdriver to undo this one screw here. It is a little dirty, so let's brush it off so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's see if I can get this off. Okay, that one's going to be too big. Let's switch to this one here. and gets it nice and good. Yeah, that one is tight. So let's switch to our smallest flathead that we have, which is going to be that one. Down in there, and would you look at that? It doesn't fit. That's awesome. So, I mean, we are down to using this one here. It fits good. I just can't get any torque on it. I'm probably gonna have to use a pair of pliers to hold onto it. See what I got in here. Okay. Don't like doing this, but you know what needs to be done. Put that in there. Dang it. This is a bit of a problem here. Twisting that head on that. Okay, okay, so plan B. Another thing I don't like doing, what we're going to do is we're going to take this here and place you like so. We're just going to put you like so on here. Give some taps. Try to get it down inside of there. This isn't going so good on this. Okay, this one, okay, it fits. Okay, let's try this. Girl, we got movement. Okay. Oh, nice and slow, slow and steady. Alrighty, and that is our safety. Our bolt is disassembled. Nice and nasty. Put that in there, and that is all of our disassembled parts to be cleaned up. Alright guys, we are disassembled. So that's going to be it for the main part of this video here. I did want to take a look at one little thing here. So this rusted section here, I did want to take this little brass brush, just give it a little rubby rub. Just kind of see how that comes out here. So yeah, that stuff's coming out pretty good. Alright, well, that's going to be it for part 1, guys. Part 2 is going to be like this. I'm going to probably take the stock, I'm going to wrap it in paper towels, wrap it in aluminum foil, then wrap it in a black trash bag and set it on the dashboard of one of my vehicles in the sun. It is still very hot here in Texas. Inside our vehicle, it should get pretty toasty to help draw out as much of the oil and cosmoline out of the stock as possible. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a large tub that's going to fit this here, and I'm going to treat this just like I do when I clean up parts kits. I'm going to submerge this entire thing inside of water. That's going to be mixed with a heavy degreaser, and then I'm going to pretty much just get this thing with brass, copper, brushes, and soft brushes. Get it as clean as possible, get everything off of it, and then from there, based on where I'm at, I'm probably going to hit it with some light sandpaper, probably 1000 grit or something like that, remove all the finish off of it, but a sandpaper that's not going to be deep enough to remove any of the markings. Now you can see RTI actually did do some sanding on the receivers of these, so they can put their import marks and to show where the country of origin was. These were built in a couple different places, so that's always going to be stamped right here. Of course, I wanted a Steyr, so this is the first Steyr in the collection. So, and then we'll see how we go as far as that goes. As far as the actual work, it looks like the wood's going to be the hardest to deal with. Wood is what I have the least experience working with, so that's what we're going to go from there on that. All these parts here, I'm going to see about getting a ultrasonic cleaner from my buddy, so I can drop all these in some good cleaning solution, and then hit them with ultrasonic cleaner, get them nice and cleaned up as best as possible. Then I'll probably also have to still hit them by hand with toothbrushes and a solvent to get them nice and clean. But besides that, project is looking fairly good as of right now. My table, not so much. So anyways guys, that's it going to be for this today. I will see y'all in part 2, hopefully here in a couple weeks. I am going on vacation to northern New Mexico here at the beginning of October. So maybe after that, when I get to part 2, we'll see where everything else goes. Yeah, that's what will be on that. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. If y'all have any questions, comment down below. If you've done a project like this, comment down below, let me know. And if you did a video, let me know. I'll link your video in the somewhere on the video on part 2 if you've done a restoration on one of these M95s as well, or something similar. Always like, subscribe, do all the good algorithm stuff to help the channel out. We have another partnership that's in the works that's going to be hopefully announced very, very soon. Something I've been looking for. It's not firearms related, it's beverage related. What could that be? Anyways, you have to stay tuned to see what that is. I'm excited about that. And check out the merch store, all that good stuff. I will see y'all next time for part 2 on this project. And there may be a gun review dropping pretty soon as well on something kind of similar to this. Yeah, you know, keep your eyes out. See y'all guys next time. Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're starting a new series on the channel, and it's a restoration series. So for the first rifle up here, we got us a striped tabby. Yeah, no, he's not what we're restoring. He is just wanted to be on YouTube and here on the table. Welcome back guys. Today